It's a Hollywood beginning. How the Lakers landed LeBron for 4 years and $153 million. Reaction from all across the country. And what's next for the Kings' new court? How LeBron and Lance Stephenson changed the Lakers' landscape. Plus, Showtime in the Bronx, baseball's best over-the-wall and off-the-wall performances now on SportsCenter.
You can start spelling his name LA-Bron. He'll be here.
See? It was inevitable. What's happening? Welcome to a fresh edition of SportsCenter. John Buchagoss, Michael Eaves. I don't know what you did on Sunday, but your Sunday was nothing compared to the Sunday of Laker fans as the man, the king, LeBron James, joins the purple and gold.
From the heartland to the southeast coast, back to the heartland, now to Hollywood. It's a $153.3 million 4-year deal, the max. Ramona Shelbourne reports LeBron's agent called Lakers president of basketball ops, Magic Johnson, minutes before he sent the announcement tweet. Then he called Cavs GM Kobe Altman. Then they hit send. And just like that, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 in LA, the world knew, as they assumed, LeBron will be a Laker. Thank you, Northeast Ohio, for an incredible 4 seasons. This will always be home. James's impact in downtown Cleveland and in his hometown of Akron for kids there is nearly immeasurable. He has given as much as he received. And then Sunday night, a much more magnanimous statement released by Dan Gilbert. This time around, we will always remember the evening of June 19, 2016, as the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, ended the 52-year drought, delivering the long elusive championship that many thought they would never see. A championship that united generations of Clevelanders, both living and past. The entire Cavaliers franchise thanks LeBron for that precious moment and for all of the excitement he delivered as he led our team to 4 straight NBA Finals appearances. We look forward to the retirement of the famous number 23 Cavs jersey one day down the line. I think it was around Christmas time. We're in the cafeteria, and I asked you, so where's LeBron going to go? And you said, probably the Lakers. So we all kind of knew this was going to kind of happen. Oh, you did, not me. Give us the headlines. When we look back 3 to 5 years from now, what will this night, be in your terms, in terms of the headline?
This is a seismic move for LeBron James, for the Lakers, for the NBA to have the athlete of this generation and maybe ever in this sport to go to the franchise in LA. And people in Boston will argue that, but there's something about LA and the West Coast and the Showtime Lakers and Hollywood for LeBron James. This is such a bigger play than just trying to win a championship with the Lakers. This is planting his flag in Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and having Magic Johnson not just running basketball operations in LA, but him as a mentor, as a guide for all the things LeBron James wants to do in business for the rest of his career and then beyond his basketball career. In every way, it makes sense.
Yeah, his global brand is really unlike anything. We know Michael had a big brand, but LeBron's all in on the entertainment aspect you talked about. LA makes perfect sense. But it's just a 2-year plan in terms of really competing, because it doesn't look like, well, Bobby Marks in our next segment, our front office insider, it doesn't look like there's a lot of room to do anything this year in terms of adding Kawhi or DeMarcus Cousins or anybody now.
Yeah, and they brought in some interesting guys here to support him, like some guys who've been part of winning, but Lance Stephenson, JaVale McGee, there's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope comes in, so returns with LA, and those are 1-year short-term guys.
Right.
They're going to try to figure out now how to get Kawhi Leonard, whether they do that in a trade, which became much harder with that Caldwell-Pope commitment today, or free agency next year when Leonard will be a free agent 2019. He opts out. He wants out of San Antonio. They have talked about some deal points with the Spurs. The Spurs and Lakers have talked. But if Leonard gets traded somewhere else, do the Lakers, the fear is they end up right back where they were with Paul George,
right,
where it went so well for him somewhere else he stayed. What if he gets traded to Boston or Philly, likes it, decides to stay, and they never get access to Kawhi Leonard? But right now, Kawhi Leonard feels like Paul George did last year. I want to be a Laker. I'll get there in free agency. We'll see if there's not a trade, if indeed Kawhi Leonard does that. But a Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, those two, you'll go play any other team's 2 guys with those 2 players.
No doubt about it. You're right. A seismic shift, as Woj mentioned. LeBron is a Laker.
Well, despite LeBron moving into their division, the Warriors remain the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title next season, as they should. But the Lakers are now tied with the Celtics for the second-best odds at 7-2. And not surprisingly, look what happened to the Cavs. They're now at 500-1 to win it all. All right, to get a little more perspective on this, we bring in First Take Stephen A. Smith. You know, Stephen, let's go back a couple years when LeBron went to Miami. It shook up the entire league. It surprised some when he went back to Cleveland. This move to L.A., a lot of people expected for quite some time. But having said that, what does this move say about the current state of the NBA?
Well, it just said, you know, people can look at it and they could lament the lack of parity because all the best players seem to be in the Western Conference. There's no doubt about that. It's one of those things that will prompt discussion as to whether or not the commissioner needs to revisit seedings in the playoffs instead of having 8 teams in the East, 8 teams in the West. Just do 1-16 and get it over with so we can have some semblance of competition. But I really don't care about that right now. I'm from the streets of New York City, the big city, the bright lights and what have you. LA is obviously the second largest market in the country. Chicago being third, and between those 3 cities there are 5 NBA teams, and not a single one of them made the playoffs this past season. That's simply not good as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't mean that the NBA can't thrive without those guys in the postseason. Clearly Golden State being in the mix, Houston being in the mix is incredibly relevant, but the Lakers being relevant again, having missed the playoffs for the last 5 years, it does just make your hair stand up on your skin. It gets you hyped and excited about the possibilities, recognizing Laker Nation, the tradition that the Lakers franchise has, and the fact that you can get a guy the magnitude of LeBron James to the second largest city in the United States, to Hollywood, Tinseltown, Venice Beach, Melrose, LA Live. The list goes on and on. To get a player of this magnitude, knowing that outside of Elgin Baylor, every single mega star that has ever played for the Los Angeles Lakers has captured a championship while wearing the purple and gold. It almost gives you goosebumps. It gets you going.
All right, so it pumps new blood into L.A., that's for sure. What does it do for the city of Cleveland as well as that Cavs franchise?
Well, it returns them to the dormant state of affairs that once existed before LeBron James arrived. There's no doubt about that, but in the same breath, it's going to be devoid of the level of vitriol they had when he first departed to take his talents to South Beach back in 2010. This time around, he came back to Cleveland to fulfill a promise that he had made to the franchise, to the city, to the Northern Ohio area that had been devoid of a championship in any sport for over a half century. And 2 years in, he delivered on that promise. 4 straight years, he took them to an NBA Finals. He owes them absolutely nothing. Everybody with sense there knows he owes them absolutely nothing. Plus, he fulfilled his promise. So when you take all of those things into consideration, it's a reason to lament things, but not have the vitriol and venom that you once had.
Yeah, he gave them something they never had before, and I have a feeling he will always be that area's favorite son. Stephen A. Smith, appreciate the time.
Kobe Bryant tweet, welcome to the family, King James. Hashtag Lakers for life. Hashtag strive for greatness. Jimmy Bush, Magic Johnson also tag, and RP, Rob Pelinka, well done. Meanwhile, don't miss this. Our front office insider Bobby Marks breaks down how the addition of LeBron impacts the current Laker roster. He's not sure if Kawhi can get to the Lakers this year. Don't miss this.
LeBron James to join the Los Angeles Lakers.
This is what the Lakers do.
A seismic shift. He's a force of nature.
It's not just about what the Lakers have today. It's who can be with me in the short-term future.
You got to give kudos to Magic Johnson.
He's not done trying to win.
That shared vision is what brought LeBron James to Los Angeles.
The Kingmaker has gotten the king.
Well, we've shown you reaction all night long from what happened once LeBron landed with the Lakers. How about some of the current Laker players? Lonzo Ball, y'all really thought he was going to pass up the greatest city in the world? Hashtag the king is here. Kyle Kuzma, Lake Show, King James, let's go, my brother, let's rock. And then Josh Hart, the show, as in Showtime, is back. Question is, will all 3 of those guys be on the roster when LeBron plays his first game? Things to consider. Well, one guy we do know will be on the roster is a big surprise here to a lot of NBA fans. Lance Stephenson agreeing to a 1-year, $4.5 million deal to join the Lakers. Of course, through the years, Lance and LeBron have been adversarial, to say the least, on the court. But after coming up with LeBron in the purple and gold, Lance like, yeah, I can get down with that. A little time in the 3-1-0 on the west side. I mentioned the past histrionics, if you will use that word, between these two dudes. Pacers, Heat in the playoffs. Lance was just trying to be a pest to LeBron, doing the best. Now that looks like something from the World Cup, passed out soccer. And that was like, oh, in the face of Eric Spoelstra trying to be in the huddle. Really, Lance? And then popping LeBron in the face, and LeBron showed a lot of restraint by not responding. And then the all-time favorite. It's the best GIF and meme there is in internet history.
It keeps on giving.
It never stops. It's there. Hey, let's fast forward, though. 2018 Eastern Conference playoffs. LeBron going hard and Lance going hard across the head, and then here taking the ball from LeBron like he won a tug of war with his brother. Little bump here. And guess what? Now they're teammates. It's all great, right?
So Lance in his basketball pants coming to LA. Here's Bobby Marks, and show us how this all fits. And the big question I want to know is, can we add DeMarcus Cousins? Can we even add Kawhi Leonard if we want?
Well, the first thing is that we're going to leave Luol Deng's money on the books right now. He's owed $36 million. We are not stretching his money over 5 years. We're going to keep that cap hit there. And you've got $47.6 million. When they signed LeBron James,
at the max deal.
At the max
no
deal.
Discount.
No discount. $35.6 million. That gets you to $12.8.
Okay.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope, shooting guard. When we add KCP's number in at $12 million, that goes in there. Now you've got a teeny bit of room. You can sign maybe one of your second-round picks. They agreed to a deal with Lance Stephenson for the room mid-level exception.
Okay.
You can exceed the cap to sign Lance to that number.
So he slots in there.
He slots in there.
Doesn't affect your cap.
Nope. When we slide Lance over there, that gets you over, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the exception that allows you to do that. The last move for the Lakers, JaVale McGee, to the minimum exception. When you sign minimum guys, you can exceed the cap. You can sign as many as you want, as long as it fits under your roster. $1.5 million.
Okay.
We slide JaVale over. And that is your Laker team right now.
So we can't add Kawhi Leonard unless we trade a lot of young guys with pieces to make the math work. Same with DeMarcus Cousins.
It's going to be really hard. Originally, Leonard would have come in with cap space. Now the only tradable contracts would be Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. Maybe you can try to do a sign-and trade for Julius Randle. That will be hard to do. You only have about $18 million of controllable contracts that you can move in a deal. Leonard makes 20. The number has to be right around 17, so you'd basically have to clear the deck.
So in your mind, you don't think Leonard will be a Laker next season?
I have it hard-pressed that he would be a Laker next season. In the offseason, possibly, because they will have a max salary slot. But right now, in free agency, I don't see a Leonard deal happening, and that includes DeMarcus Cousins. Where they are right now, where Cousins' number is, maybe between $20 and $25 million, it will take basically to renounce Randle and stretch that dang money, and that gets you to about $18, $19 million, and I don't see DeMarcus Cousins coming on that.
Perhaps this is a 2-year plan then with LeBron. Be patient. Next year we'll make our move. Thank you, Bobby. And LeBron told the Lakers that, our Ramona Shelborn tells us, that don't do anything drastic. I'm here for the long haul. Keep that in mind. Regardless of what the Lakers team looks like, history tells us LeBron himself is good for at least 10 extra wins. His rookie season, Cavs won 18 more games than he did the previous season. After he joined the Heat, 11 more games. Return to Cleveland, 20-win improvement. Remember, the Lakers went 35-47 last season, so you can pencil them in right around 50.
Well, as you might imagine, plenty more on LeBron's decision. Michael Wilbon weighs in on the Lakers deal that brought LeBron to the West Side.